let's go ahead now and move on to the Buffalo Bills 7-round mock draft and continue our 7-round mock draft series. But before we get into that, if you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe and smash that bell notification. Tyler and I are trying to hit 1,000 subscribers by the NFL draft. So if you could help us reach that goal, that would be much appreciated. All right. So the Buffalo Bills, they do have a first-round pick. However, we have them trading back in the first round into the early second round with, let me get the trade pulled up, with the Houston Texans. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So Houston receives the 28th pick. Buffalo receives round 2, pick 34, and round 4, pick 105 in this trade scenario. They do move back to day 2. However, just where they were in the draft, I remember they didn't really have a lot of players that the Bills would be able to kind of plug and play day 1. And so a lot of the receivers were off of the board, and the offensive linemen at that point really weren't of great value. And so they trade back.
And another thing too, as well, is they only have 6 picks, and they have several more needs on the team than I think that they would like. And so I get going back only a couple spots here and getting an extra pick here. I believe it was in the beginning of the 4th round. So
pick 105.
Yeah, so I think it would make sense then, because even the guy who I think that they could target here in the first round, maybe it'd be a stretch in the first round, but here I think I like it. And I've seen this in other mocks, so I will say that this isn't an original pick of my own. But Steve Avila, the interior offensive lineman guard out of TCU, I just like that pick because there's been a lot of trouble, especially on the interior side of the Bills in the second half of last season. And I think them addressing that need, I think there aren't too many guys, Darwin Jones and Darnell Wright are tackles specifically, while I think Steve Avila can kick in on the interior side and help out immediately from day 1.
Yeah, and that's who we have them trading back and taking here at pick 34 is Steve Avila. He's a day 1 starting guard, and he brings a lot of power in the run game, and I like that fit. They need offensive line help. I would love to see the Bills transition into more of an offense with set run plays and not just Josh Allen running with the football because nobody's open.
Yeah.
Not saying that nobody was open often. It's just a lot of the Bills' run production come from scrambles. So I really like this pick. I also think it would be good to start maybe protecting Josh Allen a little bit more in true passing sets, because the way he plays, he concerns me every single time because he throws caution to the wind, and I would love to see him back there with some clean pockets, because even as a Patriots fan, I do enjoy watching Josh Allen play. So not 2 weeks a year. So and then moving on now, continuing in the second round at pick 60. Also, if you notice the picks are slightly off, it's because the mock draft tool that we used counted the forfeited picks. So Miami's 21 pick counted as the 21st overall pick, even though it was forfeited. So they're slightly off. That is why. And then at pick 60, we have them taking wide receiver Tank Dell from Houston. And I like this pick personally. Isaiah McKenzie had a really disappointing year. Gabe Davis is kind of a one-trick pony in terms of he's an outside receiver who you throw 4 go balls a game to, right? Mm-hmm. And I think Tank Dell is that Isaiah McKenzie slot receiver who you get the ball in his hands. He's super shifty, super athletic, and he might not run the crispest routes, but he has an elite ability to get off the line of scrimmage, even in press man scenarios that we saw at the Senior Bowl. And he creates separation at the stem of his route. And it's fun to watch. I think he would be a really good complement to Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis, and kind of add another element to this offense that a lot of Bills fans were clamoring for this season. So,
well, and that's what I'm curious about on what the Bills Mafia think of this pick is. Maybe I can definitely see people maybe saying this a little bit early. That being said, though, I think with his shiftiness, and he's a totally different type of receiver than what they have on the field, I think he can easily get or they'll be able to get him ball out into space very easily. He can find open spots in the zone that he's done well. And I think matching him up with Stephon Diggs, I think it can cause havoc for a lot of defenses here, because so many people are focused on Stephon Diggs. And as you mentioned, you do still have to pay attention to Gabe Davis, because he can break a big one.
Yeah.
And so adding a shifty receiver like that in the slot that can get open, find the cracks and zones, and also even in man can get off the ball really quickly and create some space.
Yeah.
I think would be great for this defense,
Yeah.
for this offense. Sorry.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so moving on though now to their third round pick number 92. They take DeMarvion Overshone, linebacker out of Texas.
You
I
did it. That was
I did it right.
That was
I did it right. When you
Yeah.
subscribe to this channel and you watch a lot of our videos, it will be a common trend, a common theme that I can't pronounce names, and I did a good job. I get a golden star. So I like this pick at linebacker. I know they did just sign Matt Milano. However, they did lose Trayman Edmonds, and so there's going to be a little bit of depth that they need to replace here at this position. Super versatile linebacker. I think he can come in and start day one.
Yeah, no, 6'4", 235. He's not quite as big as Tremaine Edmonds, but I think he plays a very similar role. He is better in coverage than he is as a run defender, and he does have some progressing to do, but any third-round pick you draft is going to be like that. And I think for what this defense lost, I think he's a great candidate to come in and attempt to replace what they lost in Tremaine Edmonds. So speaking of, at pick 105 here at the top of the fourth round, this is the pick that they got for trading back with Houston in the first round. They take safety Jartavius Martin from Illinois, just a really versatile safety. I think Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde are past their prime, and I think bringing in a young safety behind them, adding depth, as both of those guys were injured at points or for the rest of the season last year, and then obviously that secondary got extremely injured throughout the entire season. And I think just adding depth here is a really good place. Jartavius Martin had a really good combine and showed out really good athleticism. And I think on tape, you can see that he's a versatile and smart defender. So him and Devin Witherspoon were the reason that Illinois was a top 25 team this past season, especially on that defensive side of the ball. And I really like this pick, adds really good depth here, and is a potential heir to the safety throne in Buffalo.
Well, and that's what you're kind of looking for at these picks, right? It's like you're not far enough from the draft to where it's like just roster fillers, like maybe special teamers, maybe find a diamond in the rough. But in this early fourth round section here, like just outside top 100s, like these are some developmental pieces that have a decently high ceiling. The floor is obviously very low, but still, as you said, develop him, take a couple years, and then he can kind of overtake the starting spot from there. But moving on though, now they have a couple more picks here, so it's going to kind of rapid fire through them. But 131, addressing the offensive line again, but at the tackle position, Jackson Kirkland, offensive tackle out of Washington. Once again, adding just more depth to the offensive line, something that definitely became an issue for the Bills as the season went on. And so protecting Josh Allen, as we mentioned, helping the run game out, like the set running plays out, is going to be crucial here. And so then at 139, Keitrell Clark, cornerback out of Louisville. Once again, addressing that secondary, they are getting a little bit older, similar to Jartavius Martin, as in just trying to find some developmental pieces from there. And so then lastly, at 207, Devin Singletary is there at the running back position. They also did draft James Cook last year, but we have them going running back again with Chris Rodriguez Jr., running back out of Kentucky. I think just adding some more competition and another good player just like this, where I think he can come in and compete for some starting reps and maybe he can find a diamond in the rough there for the Bills.
Yeah. And I really like all these picks. My favorite one is Jackson Kirkland. So he has the length and athleticism to play on the outside, but his coaches didn't have a left guard at Washington his final season. And so instead of saying, hey, coach, I would rather play left tackle, I'm going to make more money at that in the NFL at the next level, he said, whatever I have to do to help the team win. He moved into guard, was a all-conference player at guard. And I really like his ability. He has had a couple injuries in his last couple seasons, and so I think that's part of the reason why he's fallen down to the fourth round. But I really like him. Keitrell Clark was another Shrine Bowl standout, and I like him as well. And so I think this is a good draft. They traded back. They ended with 7 picks in this mock draft, and I think that is probably a smart move just to get back, accumulate more picks, fill a couple more holes that they have on this roster. And
Yeah.
I really like how this turned out for the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, in general, good. It's a good draft. When you're picking this late in each round, it is kind of tough to get a gauge on it. But I think that they got good value at every single pick, and I think most of these guys can come in and contend and provide value from day one.
Yeah, no. So I think that's going to wrap up the Buffalo Bills mock draft. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe and smash that bell so you can get notified whenever Tyler and I create new content. We're trying to hit 1,000 subscribers by the NFL mock drafts. If you could help us reach that goal, that would be very much appreciated. And other than that, we will see you guys next time.